Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to the channel. I have a super special boot review for you today. It is a boot I've been trying to get my hands on for a long time. I have finally found them. Here we go. All right, this may come as a total surprise, but one of my favorite football boots of all time that I've only worn for a little while is the Puma EvoPower 1.2. And I know that sounds totally crazy, it's totally out of left field, but these boots were wide, they had a great sole plate, amazing Adapt Light upper. These are back from, they came out in 2016, I believe, is when these were out. 2015, I'll put the date when these were actually released. Now, yes, these boots are amazing. The reason this particular boot took me so long to get my hands on is because this is the dragon graphic version. So they're all red, beautiful rose color red. Red is my favorite color of football boots, by the way, if you didn't know that. Probably that or like beautiful, like a turquoise blue, like those AG Speed Flows that I have. Anyway, point being is these are very difficult to get, and these are brand new in a perfectly preserved Puma box from back then, and they are so cool. All right, so here we go. So let's get into the unboxing. So there you go. They are size 9 US, which in the Puma is a UK 8, a Euro 42, and they're 27 centimeters. And this is called the EvoPower 1.2 Graphic. And they are in high risk red, white, and sea pine, which is like a gray, like a grayish color. So very standard Puma box for the time. It is just a basic cardboard box with the Puma logoing. You've got the size chart here on the back. Obviously what I showed you before with the QR or the code here and all the information, and then just a Puma logo there. So let's get these unboxed. I cannot wait to see what they look like in person. They have literally, so these boots fun fact, I actually never had these boots. I had the white and blue ones, and I had 2 different pairs of them, and I loved them. And then I couldn't find them after that for some reason, and I moved on to, I think, Magista or Hypervenom 3 or something like that. But these were an intermediary boot that fit me so well and were so comfortable, but I just didn't wear that much of them. So I'm very excited to see if the hype in my brain is actually still warranted, and whether or not these might become part of the retro, part of a retro boot that I wear occasionally in trainings and maybe games if they're that good. Okay, so here we go. Let's hop straight into the unboxing. Open it up, and they're covered by paper. Love that. And oh my days. Okay, so this is also the first time I've actually seen them in person. Holy moly. All right, fam. So that is the beautiful red and this gray green color that you get on the back, and then you can see those almost scale looking things on the back. Unbelievable looking pair of football boots. Wow. All right, let's get these out of the box. Holy, look at that. I mean, the contrast just with the black on camera looks amazing. That's very cool. Okay, here's the other one. Don't come with any string bags as of most Puma boots. So there you go. We'll throw that right here. Okay, so absolutely beautiful Puma EvoPower 1.2 in this graphic colorway. It is absolutely stunning. I think these are just ridiculous looking. Okay, so a couple tech specs about these. Let's go over some of the tech from that time. So Puma EvoPower 1s and Puma 1.2 have the same sole plate, mostly conical studs in the forefoot with a few bladed studs here and then bladed studs in the back. So I'll give you guys a good up close look of that. And they had this power, they called this a power band or something like that, which gave much more rigidity in this part of the football boot between my fingers, and then up in this toe area, you had a little bit more flex as well. So as you can see, they do flex a little bit, but they do have quite a bit of stiffness. But this sole plate is actually really moldable. So once you start wearing it and once you start getting it on feet, the push off and the ability to move your foot is really nice when you have these on. This is an Adapt Light upper, as I told you before. So this entire upper is made of a synthetic material that's got these little, that's first got grip text on the top of it. So that's what makes this like sticky material. And underneath are these little foam pods, and they're called, it's like an EverFit cage with the foam pods on the inside. So I know it's gonna sound kind of crazy, but it's almost like a honeycomb. Let's see if I can get a decent, let's see if I can open that up a little bit. There you go. You can kind of see on the inside there, that white material right here where my finger is, that's a honeycomb texturing. And what that is it's basically a foam honeycomb structure that sits on the inside of the football boot. Then you've got these the cage that goes on top of it, which gives you a lot of structure. And of course, you've got these beautiful pods right here that give you just a tiny bit of cushioning when you touch the ball. So the fit and feel of these on feet is, or the touch on the ball is actually going to be really a lot more padded than I think most people will expect, even though they are super light and super thin and actually quite pliable as well. So as you can see, very, very pliable out of the box. There's not a lot of plasticky feeling. They are going to mold quite well. Something that differs these from the ones that I had actually is this shiny finish. So the white and blue ones that I had a really matte finish, and they felt really nice on the ball. So I'm super excited to see how these ones fit and actually how the touch is on the ball, because these will probably give me a little more grip, which actually might be a nice thing as well. Something that a lot of people complained about these back when they were kind of in and part of the normal rotation for Puma was the fact that this heel counter is really, really floppy. I wouldn't say floppy. It's got less structure. It's an internal heel counter, but the heel counter only comes up to about here. So you've got quite a bit of stretch and mobility in that Achilles area, which some people said made for a little bit less lockdown. For me, I actually didn't have any issues with it. My heels fit really well in these, and they're really awesome. One thing that I think is super cool is that this tongue actually has little pads on them. So if you can see right here, there's little foam pods that run 1, 2, and 3 down where the tongue is. And one thing that I didn't actually care much about with this particular tongue was that it slid a little bit to the side, so you would end up having to pull it back to the front every time you were kicking the ball or something for a longer period of time. That's my one complaint about this boot, was that the tongue wasn't as structured, I guess, in the sense of it didn't stay in place very much. I think something like this boot paired with the internal mesh that's on the Tiempo Legend 9 and using that tongue would make this boot super cool and would just create such a one-to-one sensation with the foot, with also having the padded and the power and the feeling of hitting a ball really, really nice. Offset lacing system, which is really cool. And then you've got this absolutely cool, I love the way that they've done this graphic. So remember in the 1 month review of the Puma Ultra Ultimates, you guys know that I talked about this was the generation of boots that makes me think of that boot. So that boot brings back this classic Puma kind of band that goes along the lateral side of the foot, and that is this generation of football boots. So both the Evo Speed and the EvoPower from this generation had this similar look to them, which I think is really, really cool. These will fit most foot types. They're quite wide. The width on these is awesome, and they've got a much more boxy toe box area to fit most foot types. That was one of the things that they got. Puma, I think, did such a good job, was the shape of this football boot is super good. And it's much more fitted towards wide-footed players. I really wish they would bring this back, because I do think this football boot is exceptional. I do think it fits really well, and I'm really excited to go on the pitch and see how these fit on feet. So tech-wise, I think it actually would definitely hold up in the modern day. I think they're not a knit boot. So again, knit is kind of in right now, but I do think that if you were to make this boot exactly the same as you did, maybe you added a little bit of knit in the tongue area, this would be such a cool football boot to have in their lineup. And I think it would bring back a little bit of that power boot, if you will, that has kind of been lost, honestly. Like that, it doesn't really exist much anymore, and I think Puma could make a killing off of an EvoPower boot that really did well, I thought. They were very, very popular, at least when I had them. I know a couple teammates of mine had them at college, and it was definitely a boot that a lot of people enjoyed wearing. So with that all being said, I appreciate so much the graphic in my hand, but I want to see what they look like on feet. I'm really excited to have these. So let's get to the on feet portion of the video, and I'll give you guys a look at how they fit on feet, what the sizing is like. These are my usual size 9 US. And of course, what they are on feet, how they feel on the ball, and given this a little more shiny and sticky upper, are they gonna be super sticky and overly sticky, or are they gonna be more similar to the ones that I had, those blue and white ones that had a more matte finish to them? So we'll answer all those questions on the on feet portion of the video, but let's hop into it. All right, fam, here we are in the indoor facility here with the beautiful graphic special edition of the EvoPower 1.2. I've got them all laced up, and I also have laced through this little hole that's on the tongue area, so hopefully it'll keep it a little bit more central as I start playing with them if I decide to put these into the rotation. What a cool contrasty color to the green of the turf. I think these look fantastic. We're gonna get these on feet right away. I do have a little plug though. Thank you to Zypher for these socks. You guys know I wear their stuff and their socks, especially most days of the week, especially for training and games. They are in the grip edition this time, so I'm wearing the grip. And Zypher, you can get 10% off if you go in the first link down below in the description box. Code BEAWESOME at checkout, or just through the link, and you guys have got 10% off. They have started shipping out to the US, so it's much cheaper and it's much quicker. So definitely go check those guys out. Let's get these on feet. I cannot wait to reinvigor my joy for this beautiful pair of football boots. As far as looks goes, these are exceptional. They're so beautiful. They're so nice. But again, we'll see how these fit and feel. I remember them being excellent. We'll see how we go. All right, so we'll get to the close-up on the B cam. We'll get these shoes away and we'll hop right into it. Again, I do have grip socks on, so just keep that in mind as you're considering sizing and stuff. And we'll slide there. Oh, nice. Those fit so well. I love the way that the toe box is shaped, because the toe, as you can see here, is a little bit more square than normal, and it fits my foot really well because I do have quite wide feet. And I love that this allows like no lace pressure, these little pods. There's like no lace pressure on this boot at all, which is just so comfy. Okay, we'll lace these up. And there's a little bit of squeezing on the width of this boot, but that is really no problem at all. I'm not really too fussed about it. They'll break in, especially in this wide area here. But as you can see, my feet are super boxy in the forefoot. So that's something that really, it suits these boots really well. With the laces tied, I'm already feeling how good these are gonna be. I remember them being excellent and fitting just really, really well and being an overall great boot. And I think my feeling about them is going to be very similar to when I had them back in 2016 and 2017. All right, here we go. Getting these, get this under there, all laced up and ready to go. There are no bubbles in the upper, right? So no areas where there's like weird off space. There's zero space right there, which is a huge shout out to Puma. All right, there you go. That's the first look. The heel area is a little bit weird out of the box. Maybe that's just me with grip socks on, because I didn't used to wear grip socks a ton when I was younger and in college, but I do now, and so maybe it's just raising my heel just a little bit. So hopefully as they break in, the heel will be a little more comfy. They're not uncomfortable. They just have kind of a weird feeling to them, but we'll see as I start to kind of move around. Oh, that's not bad actually. All right, so here we go. Contrasting with the grass, I think these look so cool. It's such a cool colorway. It is such a good, contrasty, fun pair of football boots to wear. This colorway is really unique. It's really exceptional, and on feet, these boots feel so comfortable. I think for wide-footed players, this is like one of the GOAT boots. For anybody who has super thin feet, I almost wouldn't recommend these just because they are pretty wide and pretty boxy in the front of the boot. But as far as fit goes for me as a wide-footed player, these are excellent. I wish you would guys, Puma would bring back the EvoPower. I honestly think it would be a great addition to the lineup, right? You got the speed boot, you got the control comfort boot, and you got the power boot. I think that would make a 3-boot series would be so excellent. Kill off the Puma King. I know that I said that, but the current Puma King sucks, so just keep that in mind. Touch on the ball. Padded, really nice. Ooh, so comfortable. Great touch on the ball. And not too sticky, it doesn't feel like. These boots definitely have kind of a preemptive like curvature up, so hopefully you can see that, right? If I bring my foot up and relax my foot, the toe definitely points upward a little bit. So if I put my foot down, you can kind of see without me flexing my foot, the toe does come raised a little bit. So you kind of have to get used to that as you're playing, of either pushing downward as you strike the ball, or it's just a great makes you kind of feel like you're a little bit up on your toes. This sole plate is so nice. I love how kind of pliable it is in the forefoot, but it does a really good job of having structure through the midfoot to give you that extra stability and energy return that you need when you're changing directions, when you're doing all that stuff. Passing the ball, that's something that I'm excited to, yep, just as I remember. Such a clean touch on the ball, such a nice and simple, obviously I'll do some pings and stuff as well, but such a nice and simple striking surface. It really does a good job. They do such an exceptional job of creating that clean surface right in this area here, and especially when you're striking the ball where these foam, little extra foam pods are right there. It really does, when you come in and strike the ball, it just gives you such a nice feeling on feet and really does allow you to have the most amount of feeling of power that you want. So I would actually put these in like my top 10 of all time, especially the colorway, especially the feel of the boot, and just the way these perform and the way they're so like clean and everything's so tight and wraps your foot really well. This Adapt Light, which is their term for the upper, almost feels like a slightly thicker version of the hybrid touch from Adidas from a long time ago, like those Battle Pack remakes that I have. And also, if this review hasn't come out, I'm not gonna say them, but there's another pair of remakes that I have that also have that hybrid touch upper that are absolutely fantastic. So these feel like a little bit of imagine if a hybrid touch with a little bit of a stickier coating on the top of it with slightly more padding. That's kind of what these feel like, and I think it's so cool. Like the feel on the ball and the ability, like, and actually these are exceptionally lightweight, which is something that I don't say about power boots that often. I think they give you such an interesting and unique sensation of hitting the ball with such a clean striking surface while also keeping the weight down as best they can. They're actually super lightweight and they don't feel, maybe it's because they fit really well, and maybe boots that fit you perfectly don't feel like they're on your feet at all because they fit well, but I genuinely think these weigh almost nothing and they feel really nice to just like pivot and turn. This sole plate does, and the stud pattern especially, does give you good pivoting power on an AG surface, so if you can find these in your size, for wide-footed players, I would definitely recommend the EvoPower 1.1 or 1.2. They're both awesome. They both fit wide-footed players really well, and I'm actually really excited to throw these into the rotation for training. I might actually train in them tomorrow. We'll see how we go, but super cool pair of football boots. Amazing that I was able to get my hands on a pair. I did find these, full disclosure, on eBay. I wanted to get this particular pair, so I've been looking for the Dragon Edition, for the graphic Dragon Edition for a long time, and I did find them on eBay. So if you guys are interested in particular pairs of football boots from your past that you're looking for, that you want to have a little bit of a nostalgic feel when you're on pitch, definitely just go to eBay and type in the exact name of the football boot plus the size, right? So that's what you want to look for. Just make sure that you go to a retailer that gives you full like money back guarantee because they're verified and all that stuff. That's what I would just recommend if you are going to buy them off eBay. So that's kind of it for the video, guys. I hope you guys enjoyed, especially that B-roll footage of these boots. The surface of the striking area is fantastic. They feel so good, so natural. That's one thing that I really appreciate about these boots is it really does feel barefoot, even though it is a little bit padded. They just feel like they fit really well, and they fit like a barefoot shoe almost. And that's something that I really like about these football boots. If you guys do like these kind of rare, limited edition, fun, random football boots from eras in the past, hit that like button, hit that subscribe button. If I didn't answer any of your questions about these boots in the video, definitely comment down below and tell me what your favorite boot of all time is from the past that can't be from the current generation. As always, guys, be awesome, take care. I'll see you guys in the next